Good afternoon and welcome to Clear Lake in Review. Our program today observes Memorial Day in Clear Lake this centennial year. Guests are Percy Nelson, Bill Haima, and Ernest Anderson, representing VFW Post 5828 and the Wiley Davis Post 108 of the American Legion. The program today is brought to you by the Clear Lake Centennial Committee. With Memorial Day just around the corner, the Clear Lake in Review program today is being dedicated to the VFW Post in Clear Lake, the American Legion Post in Clear Lake. We're going to be talking about the history of the organizations, some of the things that the organizations are doing right now, and then some of the activities that they've planned for next Monday for Memorial Day as part of Centennial Memorial Day activities in Clear Lake. Percy, I'm going to ask you to start the program today to telling us about the founding of the VFW Post 5828 in Clear Lake.
All right, Evie, in 1948, a group of World War II veterans got together one evening at the Clear Oil Company garage to try organizing veterans of Foreign Wars Post in Clear Lake. As a result of this meeting, the Clear Lake Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 5828 was chartered on August 13, 1948, with 38 charter members. 6 of these charter members have since passed away, and 12 are still active and living in the area. Our present membership consists of, we have one World War veteran that is still with us, World War I. The rest of them are World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War veterans. And we have 88 members at this date. And through the past years, we have had a total of 31 members that have belonged at some time or other. In September of this past year, we had obtained the goal of life membership of 29 life members, and for that we were awarded the perpetual charter from the national headquarters of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. 25 lifetime members are required to receive this charter. This was a happy occasion for us last September.
What are some of the activities that you have right now as far as community events sponsored through the VFW Post in Clear Lake?
Well, our Veterans of Foreign Wars in our post, as well as all of them in the states, nation, we are active in community service, youth activities, and Americanism programs. And at the present, our post is sponsoring the Cub Scouts, the Scouts, and 2 4-H clubs. And these youth groups, they have the free use of our post for their meetings, or their banquets, their parents' nights, what have you. And the post has also in the past sponsored a National Rifle Club, but we had to give that up because of a theft of our rifles.
How about the facilities for the post itself?
Our post, right now we have, it's not a beautiful appearing place from the outside, but once you get inside it would surprise you. It really isn't too bad. We have dining facilities, a nice kitchen. We have nice auditorium hall for dances and parties, so forth. In the 50s, the post acquired the old Clear Lake Rifle Club, which was just a tin shell of a building, and it really didn't look like much. But the membership all pitched in to clean up, remodel a little at a time as they could afford it. since that time, it's been a continuous process of improving, adding on first one restroom and then another, and twice adding on to the building and remodeling the kitchen. So today we have a place for community activity. As long as the village no longer has a village hall, it comes in handy for community affairs such as anniversary parties, family reunions, benefits, and just plain old fun parties with dancing.
How about some of the objectives of the VFW post itself? Your personal objectives as members and then the VFW in general.
Veterans of foreign wars objectives are very unselfish service to their God, their country, and the communities they live in, and to the people. And the Veterans of Foreign Wars have worked very hard in the programs for veterans on state and national levels. They maintain a national home at Eaton Rapids, Michigan for veterans, widows, and orphans, and this is all supported by their own funds with no help from taxpayers or government.
What are membership requirements of the VFW?
To become a VFW membership, there are 3 required requisites. The American citizenship is number 1. Number 2, you have to have honorable service outside the continental limits of the United States with the armed forces of the United States. Number 3, service entitling the applicant to the award of a recognized campaign medal authorized by the government of the United States.
How does your membership break down as far as number of members, say from World War I, from World War II, Korean War, and the Vietnam conflict? Any general membership orientation?
Largely, we are World War II. We have had World War I members. We have one at the present time, and the others have passed away. And right now we're losing our World War II members through death. And we have Korean veterans and we have Vietnam veterans. And Vietnam veterans have been slow about coming in, but we are glad we do have some in there, and they are active in our post.
I see. How about the ladies' auxiliary of the VFW post?
The ladies' auxiliary we are proud of. We have 38 members now. They were chartered in 1950, May, with 14 members. Their membership is down, I think, 6 members from last year. Some of them have dropped out because of other busy activities, but we are proud of our ladies' auxiliary, and they are what makes us go.
Bill, let's talk about the American Legion Post 108. Could you tell us about the founding of the organization and some of your early history of the Legion Post in Clear Lake?
Well, the forerunner of Post 108 was the Emerson Opdyke Post N142 GAR. The Wiley Davis Post 108 Clear Lake was chartered 56 years ago on October 15th, 1919. There were 16 charter members at the time, with 5 still living, with only 1 still a member of the Post 108, namely Clyde Jones, who is still an honorary chaplain. The first hall was the old GAR Hall, and at present is the home of Cassius Newell. The next hall was the old Pineville School, bought in 1926, and moved to Clear Lake by the town of Clear Lake Equipment in the fall of 1928. In the meantime, the Legion rented the old village hall as a meeting place for Legion affairs and business. The rent was $8 a year. And we paid for the Pineville School and made that in 3 payments. It amounted to $186. And Wiley Davis's father was insurance man there in Clear Lake at the time, and we insured the building with him in 1926 for everything, fire, hail, and wind for $8. And we bought 3 25-foot lots to put this building on from a man with Ole Belland for $96. And then, of course, not any building on this property, we had to pay taxes. And that was $4.15 taxes in 1927. And from that time on, it's been free of taxes. And in 1935, the Legion put on a 4th of July celebration because we were in debt and we had to raise some money some way, and we raised between $1,200 and $1,500 at that time, and we paid up all our bills. There was 10 guys in the Legion that loaned them $25 apiece at one time there to carry on our business and affairs. And we paid that off at that time. A lot of the boys thought they were never going to get that money back. Some were willing to donate it, but some of them wanted it back. But we paid them all back at that time.
Is there any reason that there wasn't ever a 4th of July celebration after that in Clear Lake?
Well, there never seemed to be any interest in the 4th of July after that.
I think they did it all up easy.
Took care of the celebrations for years to come.
What kind of a celebration was it?
Well, that was a regular old 4th of July celebration like they always put on, you know. They had concessions, and firecrackers,
I was just wondering.
and
they didn't
fireworks
have
in
any
the
more of
evening. And it cost us quite a little to put it on, but at least we made right around $1,200 clear money at that time. In the Legion Hall, the original old building was 20 by 40 feet. The new addition is 30 by 40 feet, and then we had a garage built on the side of that, 20 by 30 feet. And that's about it. Of course, Wiley Davis was the son of Mr. and Mrs. Harry Davis, and he was the first casualty from Clear Lake in the First World War, and he was lost in action July 21st, 1918, in the Battle of the Marne. And I was in that same battle at that time, and there was no trace of his body found for quite a long time afterwards, because he was hit by a direct shell and blown to bits practically. But several months later, they found it and put it together, and I still think to this day that they could have got somebody else's body and put that in the grave there.
Well, that was the reason for the naming of the post.
That was the naming of the post, Wiley Davis Post, because he was the first casualty from that area.
Ernest, you know more information about the remodeling of the post in the 1960s. Could you give us some specifics on that?
Well, in 1965, is that right, Bill?
Yeah.
1965.
Yeah.
What was this Nelson's first name?
Willie Nelson from Emerald.
Willie Nelson. That is
Neil's uncle.
Neil Nelson's uncle. And, of course, he had passed away, hadn't he?
Yeah, he passed away in 1964.
Yeah, and his son, I understand, donated this old store building to the Legion Post.
I see.
And, of course, evidently it was through the efforts of Neil that this happened. Neil really gave everything he had to
He's
that.
He's an active member of the American Legion in
putting,
Clear Lake, too.
Putting that across.
I see. Could you tell us a little bit about the program that's coming up on Monday that is going to be celebrating Memorial Day in Clear Lake?
First, I was going to tell about a bunch of the Legionnaires got together and tore this store down. Mm-hmm. And with that lumber, we put together this new addition that Bill talked about.
I see.
And now we've told about our new addition. And at this Legion Hall, we have many pictures of Memorial Day groups and different activities that our former commander Neil Nielsen placed there. We also have a display of mementos of Burley Grimes, our own baseball Hall of Famer. We invite everybody to come and see our display and join us for our annual Memorial Day dinner at the Legion Hall following the program at the Clear Lake Cemetery, May 26, 1975. On Memorial Day morning, we invite the VFW post, Legion members, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, and any other groups that want to help us to join in the parade and program. Our speaker for the day will be Reverend Sorensen from the Mo Lutheran Church, where they are also celebrating their 100th anniversary year. The Clayton Post, so it says, the Clayton Post folded in 1964, and some of their members joined Post 108. We would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to our Memorial Day program and to come and enjoy a good meal with us after the program at the Legion Hall.
Well, thank you much. The American Legion, VFW, all the organizations in Clear Lake will be having the service on Monday, Memorial Day in Clear Lake. Thank you very much for being my guest today on Clear Lake in Review, Percy Nelson, Bill Haima, and Ernest Anderson. This is Evie Nurbin reporting for Clear Lake in Review.